Austin Andrews here with your beacon. Today we're taking a look at the running mate of Kamala Harris and the controversy surrounding him. Kamala Harris's running mate, Governor Tim Walz, continues to face allegations of stolen valor as former National Guardsmen and even his own family have begun to speak out against the vice presidential nominee. Cabot Phillips, senior editor from the Daily Wire, discusses the allegations, beginning with comments on how this story seems to refuse to go away for the Kamala campaign.
If anything, it is only gaining momentum. So a quick recap, as there are a few layers to this story. Walz served in the National Guard for 24 years, at one point deploying to Italy. But throughout his political career, he has heavily implied or even outright claimed that he served in combat. There's the now infamous clip of him saying he, quote, carried weapons of war in war.
And I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
And there are numerous examples of him nodding along during interviews as he is introduced as a veteran of the wars in Iraq or Afghanistan. And on top of that, when he learned his National Guard unit would be deploying to Iraq, Walz initially told his men he would be shipping out with them, but he instead retired, leaving them scrambling to replace their senior non-commissioned officer.
The Harris-Walz campaign have tried to respond to these allegations, but the response has been flat-footed and awkward thus far. Cabot Phillips goes on to outline Walz's response to the allegations, such as his explanation in last week's friendly interview with CNN's Dana Bash.
Well, Walz says that his mistaken claims that he served in combat were nothing more than a grammatical error, as he put it.
Governor Walz, the country is just starting to get to know you. I want to ask you a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And the idea that you said that you were in war, yeah. Did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar is not always correct.
And to the latter accusation, Walz and the Harris campaign have vehemently denied that he was actually aware of his unit's looming combat deployment when he retired. They say the timing was nothing more than a coincidence. However, a number of high-ranking guardsmen who served in Walz's unit say that he is lying. They went on the record this week with Megyn Kelly to reiterate that Walz was aware of the deployment before opting to retire, and even told them that he was going with them. Here's Command Sergeant Major Paul Herr speaking to that effect.
He is, again, a liar, because he told me and other sergeant majors in the meetings that you can count on me. I will deploy with my unit. That's a morale crusher. It chews away at the fabric of the military and its ability to do its mission. It may not legally be wrong. It is morally indefensible.
And here's Command Sergeant Major Tom Behrens, the man who stepped up to replace Walz when he retired just before that deployment.
When he quit in May, it was like the rumor went across the state that he had quit. And it was like, who the hell does that? I mean, it was just unbelievable that a CSM abandoned his troops. It's like losing the patriarch of the family, the quarterback of a football team. I mean, literally what this guy did is he was like Tom Brady training till the Super Bowl, and getting to that point, and then the Super Bowl comes up and he says, you second stringer, get out there and play because I might get hurt.
Of course, this isn't the only controversy surrounding Walz. In a recent publication, the New York Post published comments made by Tim Walz's brother. Cabot Phillips tells us more.
So this week, the New York Post published a series of Facebook comments made by Walz's older brother, Jeff. And they are intense. Writing throughout the last few weeks, the elder Walz said he was, quote, 100% opposed to his brother's ideology, before adding, quote, the stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. He even went so far as adding that he was, quote, thinking long and hard about appearing on stage with Donald Trump to offer an endorsement. Now, some have responded to these comments by saying the opinions of candidates' family members shouldn't really matter. For that reason, most legacy media outlets have not covered this story. But plenty of other folks say that it is relevant insight and point out that some of those same outlets spent years giving airtime to relatives of Donald Trump who were willing to denounce him. We also saw plenty of the same coverage this year as members of the Kennedy family appeared on networks throughout the election, slamming RFK Jr.
Ultimately, there are many men on record questioning the leadership, the loyalty, the wisdom, and capability of the man tapped to be Vice President of the United States of America if Kamala Harris is elected. Can Walz be trusted to lead, or will he abandon his post like he did with his Guardsmen unit? I'm Austin Andrews, and I'll see you on the next report.